Greetings, champion parents, and welcome back to Mommy Talk. As always, we are here to share information and resources to inspire positive parental engagement. But we're also here to have community conversations. We want to know what type of conversations are going on in the community. So you have Dr. Pert, Miss Lisa, and Miss April is away on mommy duty business. You know, sometimes we got to step away. So she's with us in spirit. So let's keep her in prayer. But I'm so excited. We have an awesome guest here with us today. He is a pillar of the community. He is a local principal, and he's just an all around cool dude. Wouldn't you say so, Dr. Pert?
I would say so.
Welcome, Mr. Bogins. What's up?
Welcome.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm really grateful for this.
And let me say this really quick, Mr. Bogins, I feel so blessed. I was looking at your post earlier today, and I said, wow, he considered it an opportunity to speak with us. And I'm feeling like we are, you know, we're with the opportunity to speak with you. So thank God, you know, and so thank you so much for that. That means a lot.
Oh,
yeah. It really does. And I just want to tell the world that I had met Orlando Bogins like a couple years ago. And when I met him, I just felt like immediately I had a connection with him. I don't know what it was, but I just immediately felt that I was connected to him. And I'm glad that we have developed a friendship. Anytime I needed to call him, he always made himself available, and you can't ask for anything more. And I really appreciate that.
You are more than welcome. You know, I tell my staff, my family, my friends, frat brother, everybody, I really believe that how you treat people is going to return back to you. So I tell the staff, tell the parents, tell everybody, when you treat people good, it's definitely going to come back to you. It may not be that person that you treated good that will treat you back and good, but it could be as simple as you just simply woke up the next day. And that's
right.
So, because somebody didn't wake up somewhere. So it's always good.
Amen.
Right.
Oh God, and that's so true. So true in today. So before we get started, y'all know I'm dramatic. I am the, you know, I don't know if you want to call me the class clown. So, you know, we have this thing, we're real, relatable, and right on time. And we need you to do that one time with us, Mr. Bogins.
Come on, let's do it. Let me get right with it. Hold on.
You ready?
Yeah.
We're real, relatable, and right on time.
I got you. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'll flow with it.
Cool.
So again, welcome. And Dr. Pert, I'm gonna throw it to you, you know, but as always, you know, we come in where we come in.
Right. So, Orlando, please tell us about yourself.
Okay. Again, thank you, ladies, for this opportunity. I'm truly grateful for it. As they said, my name is Orlando Bogins. Brought up, raised up in the city of Detroit. Graduated from Cass Technical High School. Went away to college. Came back home. Started teaching at Cass Technical High School. So that was always considered to be a great honor, because while I was there teaching, some of the teachers I had as a student were there now, and I was working with them. And so that was always a good thing. And so just kind of climbed the ranks within 25 years of education, being a teacher, department head, curriculum coordinator, instructional specialist, acting counselor, assistant principal, and now principal. And so within this journey, I can say it's been some ups, it's been some downs, but it's definitely been rewarding, because as I was in high school for 20 years or so, part of the salary that you get is when you see that you made a difference in a child's life. And in high school, when you would have to have the students to write college essays or essays for scholarship applications and things like that. And once they receive them and they come back to tell you that they got into the college that they really wanted to, and or they got that scholarship that's going to really help them get and pay for college, and they thank you for that work, that's a part of the salary that you really bank on sometimes. So it's been a good thing. It's been, like I said, ups and downs, but more ups than downs. And I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Awesome. So right now, you know, everybody is talking about COVID-19 and there are a lot of conversations around it. And I know that you have been watching our shows where we invite people on and they give their perspective of what's going on in the community as well as what's going on in the school. And I know that you work for Detroit Public Schools Community District, and I know that there are some positive things that's going on, even though we are living in this time. So if you want to expound on that and tell us what our conversations like in the community regarding COVID-19 and returning to school.
So I think that this illness has definitely hit us hard in so many tremendous ways, whether it's been to the point it hitting home or hitting next to your home. And so we all have been affected by it. I was having dialogue yesterday with some of my staff members, and when someone is sick with this illness, it's definitely devastating that you can't even go to the hospital and visit them because it's limited to the visitors they can have. And then, unfortunately, if someone passes on, the funeral services cannot be what you want it to be or what it normally would be. And so that's so devastating and heartbreaking. And so to deal with that is just one thing alone, it's steady trying to prevent getting the illness. So some of the things that we have done within the district, I think has been really meaningful. I think the parents are grateful for the gifts and the opportunities that they're being provided with. And so that makes a difference on that end. For example, we have always had some type of communication going to our parents, our families. So when we started the distance learning after the schools closed back in March, approximately March 12th or 13th, we made sure that all staff members had lists of students in my school and other schools to reach out to families to see what they needed, see how they were doing, how could we help. Of course, there were limited things that we could do, but we could offer resources to them. And just sometimes that one phone call just could make a difference to let somebody know that you genuinely care, that it's sincere and authentic. And that makes a difference. So offering that communication was one thing. As we are in the distance learning timeframe and now summer school, Dr. Vitti, the superintendent, has secured many partnerships so that every child that's in the district as of March 12th or so from the fourth Wednesday count will receive a device. And so we've been passing out the devices this week, and just to see the family faces, because a lot of them couldn't afford more than one device, barely had a device, and some were sharing telephones or cell phones, but trying to do work online while we were in distance learning. So to see that the partnerships were established so that homes could be functioning while trying to still remain with education going on. And so that's really important, so that the communication was there, the technology is being donated to the families, and so they're fully responsible for it. As they're getting the device, 6 months of free internet is embedded into the device. So after that time frame elapsed, the families are now responsible to continue on with it. So to get the communication, to get the device, and to get the teachers to still reach out and talk with all of the children just to make sure that they are good, and then to see how they're doing with the fall. And so right now, there's a #2 survey going out. There was one done approximately 2 months ago, but right now, Dr. Vitti has opened up another survey so that it can be determined from the parents whether they want to go back into the building for face-to-face or stay at home and continue with virtual learning for the fall. And so he wants to hear from the parents, and we're encouraging all parents to complete the survey because that data, that information is what is needed. We do hear a lot of talks of fear. Fear, anxiety is high level right now with a lot of different families, but we can talk about it, but we need to see it. We need to hear it from the survey. So we're begging and asking all of the parents to complete the survey so that we can have that information that can then determine the planning stages for the fall, whether it will be face-to-face or virtual or some type of combination of both. So having all of those components definitely makes sure that we're continuing to reach out to the families of DPS.
And you know, that's so
wait, didn't he just speak so well? It just flowed. It was just so fluid. Okay.
Here you go. Interview done. No. But you know what? That's so, and thank you for bringing those points up, because that's very important that we continue to communicate. And so, Mr. Bogan, you are an administrator. I'm a teacher. And you know, there's been a lot of conversations going on. And again, I just appreciate hearing that, because you know, sometimes there's this thing that there is a battle, you know, sometimes against administrators and teachers. But we know, you know, thank God, you know, here in this conversation today is about community, and we're not against each other. And we definitely need to continue to communicate. And I'm going to push that message also for the parents. That survey, please fill out that survey, complete the survey. It's very important because your voice is important in it. I'm a teacher and a parent. So Mr. Bogan, just quickly, where can I'm sorry,
before you go on,
okay.
Do you want to give information of how the parents can complete the survey now, or you want to do it towards the end?
Well, we can do it both. We can give it now. They can, you know, yep, if they can.
Talking about how important the survey is, and some of the listeners or the people watching may be like, well, where is the survey? So
right, absolutely. And that's actually the question I was getting ready to ask you. But yes, we definitely want to share that information wherever, you know, yep.
My apologies. We're on the same page here. So,
it's all good. We real relatable and right on time. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
And this strawberry lemonade good.
So for the parents that are definitely interested in completing the survey, an email was sent to your child's email account for the district. So you go to Clever, and at this point right now, every child should be familiar with Clever. And in Clever, there will be an email that will give directions on completing the survey for the child to, or the parent to indicate whether the child will be face-to-face or virtual. So just go to the go to the email in Clever and complete the survey. Just that simple.
And will the email be from DPS, or, because I've had that question, is it coming from DPS or Connected Futures? Because Connected Futures is where the tablets came from.
Correct.
But it will be from DPS?
It's going to be from
DPS.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm really enjoying this conversation, and I appreciate the fact that you brought up the point that there is a lot of talk through fear. And I think people have to use common sense to be able to say, well, yeah, this sounds right, but this is accurate, that's inaccurate. And I think one of the things, you know, just to navigate and to move forward, that people just have to practice the CDC guidelines, and then they have to just take everything one step at a time and use that village. And so I think it's a positive thing that you said you all did your wellness checks, that you all provided resources. Every child has technology, and that teachers were communicating with families and students. I just think that's very important. One of the things that you hear from some concerned parents was that parents had no training to be able to use the device that was given to their child. And I just want to know, how accurate is that?
So I think that that's going to be a high number at particular schools versus being a low number at other schools as well. So it's going to depend on how that information was gathered and who was a part of that. Because a lot of days in today's time, 2020, you will have some people that are stronger in technology and can figure things out. Then you're going to have the lower percentage of those individuals who are not as strong. And so there may have been a set of parents that were confused and not finding the devices or the information for the kids to be on Teams doing distance learning user-friendly. However, we did provide some time with our parents to let them know the different functions for what Teams would do, how to log on, how to log off, how the teacher would definitely be showing a screen of herself versus showing a screen of a video playing or some assignments that she wanted them to do. And so we tried to make it so that Teams, which is the platform where teachers were teaching during the distance learning, would be almost as close to being in the classroom as much as possible. So it was just as a matter of a kid being at home in front of a computer. The teacher had access, again, to play music, to play videos, to show different screens, multiple screens of what they were teaching at that time. And so I will say that the teachers really had to do a lot of work as well. And I gotta give kudos to them, because to shift your entire classroom, in particular for self-contained teachers, to shift your entire classroom to your home and to make it work and set it up so that you won't have any disturbances, your internet is strong, you're leading the way, you're taking attendance, you're getting the kids involved, you're making sure that the kids are maintaining a serious viewpoint so that they won't be easily distracted and then want to start playing on teams as well. And so it takes a whole partnership, if you will, so that the parents can know what they're doing, and then the teachers are helping the parents to know what they need to do. And so there's also the Office of Faith, Family, and Community Engagement, and they work with a lot of the parent liaisons for the buildings. And so they were offering some different workshops so that the parents could learn more functions for teams and how it operates and things like that. And so it was some workshop, it was some pieces that were available for those struggling parents. However, if it got communicated out to everyone, you know, I can't control that. I don't know about that, but I know the source was there.
Yeah, I know the district does communicate the information online. It's just that parents just have to go to the Detroit Public Schools website, because I know that's one thing the district does communicate and put all that information on the website. And I like what you said, that it takes a partnership. And I think that's one of the aspects that parents have to look at, that when this pandemic hit, it was new for everybody. So everybody had to have coping skills and transition to online learning. And I think that, you know, districts, I'm not just gonna say Detroit Public Schools, I'm gonna say, looking at across the country, I think districts did a pretty good job, being that this was just new. And I feel like every teacher out there, they did their best to work through and try to problem solve. And I think you just have some people out there that a lot of times they don't, it's a balance. They pay attention to the negativity, but look at the positive things that occurred, you know, when this first happened. So like you said, I just really think it's important to create that partnership and then communicate. Like you said, parents will definitely have to inform the district what they want. Now, that was another concern that parents had. They felt like it doesn't matter if I complete the survey, just like how some people feel like it doesn't matter who I vote on, the system is going to do whatever the system likes. Is that accurate? Is that true?
So I think that it's partially true. And I'm gonna be transparent with you. I think that it is true to the point where the district has to make a decision. And so whether that decision is going to be for the parent who does not want their child in the building, or for the parent who does want their child in the building. And so it depends on what seat you sit in and how you're going to receive that information, that you will see that it's going to be true, that they just simply did. But Dr. Beatty has said on many different platforms, whether it's been on different news stations, radio interviews, his own Facebook Live messages that he's done, the town hall meetings here and there, he is in need of the information, so that he's wanting the parents to go in and ensure that they are hearing his cry or his need, and then he wants to hear theirs as well and try to meet them in the middle some kind of way. Of course, when you have 50,000 students in one district and X amount of parents, everyone will not walk away happy. There's going to be some that's going to be unhappy and feeling like their voice will not be heard. But I'm coming from the pair of shoes that you can't complain if you're not trying to help make it bigger or better. And so, of course, even if your voice is heard and it's not the decision you want, that's a sign of being mature and growing up and moving on. Unfortunate, we don't know what tomorrow is going to be with this illness, because the information is steady being fluid, changing daily. The guidelines are steady saying things from CDC and all of those places, OHA and all of that. And so we're just steady making sure that we're keeping our eyes and ears to the focus point of what they're sharing with us. And hopefully that will help determine things as well. But I also think, and this is just my opinion, I think that the planning stagings are present and they're live and they're working at the table effortlessly. But I also think a lot of this is going to be predicated upon what Governor Whitmer is going to say.
So I want to just jump in quickly. I do appreciate all of this information, and I also want to encourage parents, teachers. I want to encourage everyone to continue to communicate, continue to let your voices be heard. If there is information that you are not sure about or that you do not agree with, please research it for yourself, because someone else can give you information and it can sound good, but just because it sounds good doesn't mean that it's accurate. So please, and this is, and I have to mimic what you said earlier, Dr. Pert, that it was new for everyone. When you talk about mental stress and anxiety and all of that stuff, we have all of that. And so we definitely have to continue to, research. And Mr. Bogan, you said it, get the information, make sure you pay attention, I think, or Dr. Pert, one of you, I'm sorry, but pay attention to the website. And it's okay to email people and make phone calls, and let's make sure we get the accurate information and get it for yourself. Just because someone else says it doesn't mean it's true. But I want to give a shout out to our viewers. Hey viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we love your support. We appreciate your feedback. Y'all a little quiet today, unless Mr. Bogan is just giving y'all so much, that you don't have nothing to say. But please, this man is wise. He is wise. He is, he's real. As he said, he was transparent. I appreciate that, and you don't get a lot of that, sometimes. But anyway, I could be long-winded. Give us some feedback, ask him a question. Thank you.
So the next question that I know every parent, guardian, sister, brother is facing out there, returning to school. What are your thoughts around opening school and students going back in a traditional setting?
So I think that the traditional setting will not be anymore. I don't think it's going to be, because a lot of parents are concerned regarding the upkeep, the cleanliness of the buildings, and how often will they be done, because some public school districts, some not, definitely identifying any, but some have the history of not keeping buildings clean. And whether that is from privatizing services or the lack of employees and things like that. So it's just kind of hard to guess on that. And then you have where the traditional setting involved 20 to 25 kids in a classroom in the K-8 building, and perhaps 30 to 35 in high school buildings. And so right now we are being limited to having perhaps up to 20 kids in a classroom. And you still have to remain with 6 feet social distancing with that 20 inside of the class. And so that's going to be a whole different piece right there. We're also looking at where students will not be traveling from classroom to classroom for different subjects. They're all going to remain in one subject. And I'm speaking more so of the K-8 building. They're going to remain in one classroom for multiple subjects. And then they'll even be having breakfast and lunch inside of the classroom. So this is all a part of the plan. So traditional setting is out of the window right now. It doesn't look like it's going to be. And so will that work? I think that will work for some, because you will have the working parents that cannot afford to stay home and keep their child engaged in virtual learning. They won't have that village, so to speak, so that someone will be there to watch their child engage and remain consistent with distance learning. And so I believe that the face-to-face will work for some, but it's not going to be the traditional of what we're used to. And will that have an effect on people? Because also that's just the surrounding classroom settings that I'm speaking of. You also got to remember the students have to remain with the mask on. Temperatures have to be checked so that the employees can come into the building. And we're talking anybody that's an employee or staff member has to have a temperature check. And so all that information has to be documented, because we don't know who may go home to whomever may have something related to a COVID symptom, then come back into the building and then breathe it all out to everybody, or whatever the case may be. And so all of that kind of stuff has to be put in place. And I would say the district is moving forward with some of that stuff. My building is a summer school site. And so we've kind of gotten a little practice with it, because we have some of the devices in the building, some of the protocols in place, so that we can see what it looks like. And, you still got to think about the different types of children with the learning methods, because some of our exceptional students or special needs students, they will not be able to always keep a mask on like they should, because of sensory issues and sensory methods going on. And then you have some of the smaller kids in K2 and even maybe up to K8, they're going to start playing with the mask, throwing the mask and talking about the mask and want to fight with the mask, or your mask is not as good as mine. And so hopefully the teacher at that time will still be able to remain in control and have strong classroom management to prevent all of that from happening. But when you think about a traditional setting, it is not going to happen at all.
So as you were talking, and thank you for that, someone wrote in and said, some parents want their child to go to school. Traditional settings should remain. Free our sons and daughters. Black Lives Matter. So.
Okay, so while y'all ponder on that thought, I want to give a shout out to our viewers again. Hey, you all, thank you so much for tuning in. I see you. We got two Howas on the line. Howard Massaquoi and Howard Hoff gives a shout out to Mr. Bogan. And then Nicole Corbin from New York, thank you for tuning in. Mr. Dominique Bailey, Veronica Hughes, thank you so much. Kelly Murray Patterson. And I want to share Kimberly Liddell Love. I want to share her point. She said, information is key. Everyone must stay informed and make the best decision for their individual family situation. And Mr. Bogan is awesome and has always been transparent. Don't we know it? And hey, Zatia. Zatia is also a principal in the city. You guys, thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to throw it back to you, Dr. Perk.
Yeah. Do you have any comments that you want to say?
Well, let me thank all of the viewers who are participating. It's always good to have that support. I believe support is so important because sometimes you just don't know after you do a long day of work, and people don't realize that as principals and even with teachers and whatever career, but sometimes our day in education does not end. We can start as early as 7 in the morning and probably won't stop until 9-10 p.m. at night. And sometimes we have
exactly
to divorce ourselves from the job in order to maintain our own sanity. So when you have friends, colleagues, and people in the community that will recognize the work that you do, it's always just a great thing. And so I'm grateful for everyone. My very good friend, Kimberly Liddell Love, and my awesome, AP, I'll tell everybody she's the yin to my yang. Kelly Murray Patterson, and my old high school friend, Howard. We go back. I mean, back when she was wearing nugget earrings and motion rings, but we're not going to go there, Howard.
You know what, Mr. Bogan, I actually want to give Howard Hoff, I really need to give her a shout out because just a couple of months ago, and I hope you still with us, Howard, she did a movement where she was trying to get people to do the shout outs to the workers, to the frontline workers. I actually went to one of them, which was the Henry Ford on the Boulevard. So anyway, Howard, I just want you to know that your works are very well recognized. And, I know I'm not sure if you're still doing it. I haven't seen it lately, but I know that it was big and you had a lot of support. So thank you for that. I just, had to give her a shout. I always remember her name because she's her and Howard Massaquoi Carter. That's my soror. Okay. But those names, I think they know each other. Anyway, I told y'all I'm long-winded. Go ahead on now.
Oh, no, it's all good. But yeah, Howard definitely was the vehicle for the city of Detroit to acknowledge the frontline workers. And I participated one morning with her at the Henry Ford Hospital on the Boulevard as well. We were there at 5 in the morning and just circling and blowing the horns and things like that. And then we went down to Hutzel Hospital one afternoon on a Sunday. And just as the one set of team members or employees were leaving out and changing shift, they didn't know we were out there. And so we were out there to cheer them on for the hard work that they were doing and sacrificing. And so, yeah, that was a great effort on her end. I'm glad I participated with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Great job. So what can assist children in leveling anxiety and mental stress?
I think that a couple of things could help with minimizing children's anxiety. I think that if parents definitely communicate to their children consistently and being direct will help. I don't think that the children need to have any clouded understanding of what COVID is and what it's about and how it can harm you or others. I think that if the direct conversation from the parent, as well as seeing how it's affecting the world, sit down and watch the news with your child so that they can fully understand not just the seriousness of COVID, but understand how to take this information, process it, internalize it, help them grow and become more mature so that when the next trauma for this world comes about, they will know how to attack it. And so it takes where the parent has to lead this as well. The parent has to model for that child. It's very crucial that they see that, because even when we're talking about some of what we might think is minimal or minutia, I'm still to this day washing my hands for 25 seconds. And I might do it 2 or 3 times because I just don't know, as I'm steady touching door handles, wherever I may be or wherever I'm going, I don't know what I may be touching. And I have a habit of just kind of going. And, you know, they say use some hand sanitizer. Sometimes that alcohol in there ain't strong enough for me. I got to go to some for real, you know, old school Dawn, Palmolive, you know, some Irish Spring soap, and I got to get the lather and I got to get it going so that, you know, I can feel comfortable. And so I think that once a child sees what a parent is doing, that parent is modeling for them and then explaining to them. And, you know, you may have to somewhat use a vocabulary that they can use that's user-friendly for them. That vernacular makes a difference because you can't speak high level and then they're not fully walking away with an understanding. I always talk to kids, whether it's me reprimanding them or just having a conversation, and I'll say, okay, now you tell me what I just said in your own words. Then that way you can get the comprehension level. And I was an English teacher, so that might be a part of me kicking in right there. But that is definitely helpful too, because you want to make sure that your child is going to definitely model the household. So I would definitely say communication and effective communication, and then modeling for that child to help decrease some of the anxiety that may be present.
I agree 100% because as a parent, I'm constantly telling my daughter, no, no, and no, because she keeps saying, Mom, I want to do this. What can I do for my birthday? Can I have some friends over? Can I go here? And I believe it's important, you know, to tell your children why you're saying no. And I'll say, okay, my answer is no, but why am I saying this? COVID, you doing too much. It's not that serious. I'm saying, we've been watching the news. You see how many people are dying, but I think that's her trying to push me to see if I'm going to bend. And I wonder if I might just try this. I might say, yeah, come on, let's go. Let's go out. She probably be like, Mom, but it's COVID. I just think, you know, I just think she's just doing too much right now.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta test it. You gotta put it back, because not only just to see what she would do, as in to see and understand where she is, but also what she will do is an indicator of what you've done to her, what you've taught her, and what she's taken away from you, because it has to be a revolving door. It has to be 50-50. It has to be give and take. And so sometimes as we are parents, adults, we do so much, and sometimes we forget about some things, and we need our child here and there to remind us about some things. I was talking to Mrs. Patterson, you know, my assistant principal, and with her son, her youngest son, well, her young son, who's 14 now, she was telling me how he has a planner, a calendar in his phone so that he can make sure he stays on top of stuff. But he's not only just doing that because he has a busy schedule with sports and Kappa League and other activities he's involved with, but he see his parents doing it. And they've modeled for him, and it helps them to stay on task, not just what they have to do, but with him. And so he is now mirroring what he has seen for quite some time. So that will be a part of where your daughter will probably turn back on you and mirror and be you to you.
You know what? That's so
she
true.
just ought to.
That's very true. And I really want to, you know, echo that communication. And not only when you model with your children, you have to understand, like, repetition is so important, you know, because there's been times like with my children, not just in modeling, but I might want to say, hey, you know, go do this. But sometimes I have to do those things with them. I have to model, and I have to actually do things with them for them to say, okay, you know, now we can clean up since Mommy is doing it with us. And you have to continue to do these things because they're not going, some things kids are not going to get, you know, overnight. And it's important for us to exercise patience, You know,
That's right.
patience is very important. So, you know, just continue modeling, you know, and again, I want to give a quick shout out. We always have to give the shout outs to our viewers. And, you know, they're not asking questions, you know, but they're with us, you know.
That's good.
They're providing a lot of information.
That's good. So, Mr. Bogins, I heard you say use language that's user friendly, and I agree with that. I think that's important. And I heard you say the word minutia. Can you spell that?
Look, here you go. Why you added tackle vernacular?
Right, exactly. So please provide your followings for our viewers.
Oh.
Well, before he gets to the followings, can he, like, what are you working on now? And what's next? What are you working on now? You know, community related, school related. What are you working on now? And you know, what can we look forward to for Mr. Orlando Logan?
Should I say something that's minutia in a different vernacular, or should I just?
You know what? Whatever. Look, here you go. Whatever you like.
Okay. I'm gonna remember that one. Okay. So, you know, I move carefully with everything I do. I probably overthink a lot of things, and so being a man of God, and I'm human, but allowing God to really direct my path. And so I'm trying to figure out, am I going to complete this doctorate program? Or am I just going to continue to do the work that I've been doing, extending and building relationships within the community, as well as working closely with central office staff members, so that when an opportunity comes, hopefully, if I am considered to be one of the candidates for a position, then I will do so. I have been active with, as you all know, my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We're doing different things in the community there. And recently we just lost a frat brother, and because of the COVID, the ramifications of the funeral service were just so limited, and it just touched all of us. But just to deal with COVID, deal with that in the community, we're starting to spread the news of how and what we can do there, so that the rising numbers can start to stop and decrease as well. You know, being a principal of a K-8 building, it's fun, it's energy. I love my staff. I support them no matter what. I tell them all the time, no matter what I do, however many hats I wear, if it's from a principal, assistant principal, or school improvement, testing coordinator, the janitor, all of that, I'm always going to be a teacher first, always. And so I think that I'm just going to continue to participate in different things that will help me to grow as an individual, as well as to help me grow professionally, because I think that no matter how far I can get degree-wise, if I'm not living with the life of salvation, education is just going to be information. And so you got to be saved with that whole part. Now, you know, I ain't about to start preaching. I'm not a Bible thumping person. That ain't me. Did you hear that? That ain't me. But I just want to make sure that, you know, I'm just moving forward the best way I can and how God directs me. So, you know, the doctorate plan is still on the table. Continue to move forward within the district, or perhaps as I've been tapped on the shoulder from other districts, will I go that route? I'm humble. I don't think that I'm all of that. I do know that God has given me a whole lot, and I'm going to continue to use that. But at the same time, I realize tomorrow it could be all snatched away, however. And so I'm just going to continue to be grounded and make sure that no matter what, I treat people good and it comes back to me. So I don't have a full agenda of what you can look out for. I'm just steady trying to move and improve who I am.
Hey, moving on up. Okay. So would you like to provide your followings for our viewers?
Yeah, sure. So I'm on Facebook, Orlando T. Bogins. That's my name on Facebook. I am on Instagram. Am I? Yeah, I am. And so my name on there is All Day Mr. B. just all lowercase, no punctuation marks, all day, spelled regular, Mr. B. That's just it. I'm not the biggest social media person. I get on there just to kind of see what's happening so that I don't miss anything. But I get on there periodically just so that I can make sure that I stay in contact with people and all of that. And of course, I'm over at Go Lightly Education Center as the principal, been there going on 4 years now. And we've done a complete 180 with the school. And I thank God for my complete staff, because when I came over, they didn't know me, I didn't know them. But since then, scores have increased, enrollment has increased, partnerships have increased. And so we're just doing a wonderful job. And we are now in our second year of being a model school. So other schools in the district come to our school to see what we're doing administratively, what we're doing classroom-wise, strategies, classroom management, delivering the new curriculums. And so our teachers and staff members are modeling for that. I'm sorry, did I digress? I'm sorry.
Good.
I'm sorry.
You're doing good.
The Education Center.
I feel like a student. Keep going.
That again?
I feel like a student.
Oh no.
No,
Yeah,
in a good way. In a good way. In a good way. In a good way.
So just being there at that school and highlighting all that good stuff and my staff, it makes a significant difference. And so being there, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So that's really it with my following. Email me at the school. You want to get my email address or just social media?
No, you don't have to do all that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay.
So we appreciate you for coming on the show. Do you have any final encouraging words, thoughts for our parents and our listeners, our viewers?
I think that in final words, I would want every parent, every viewer, community member to make sure you stay close to the information related to COVID-19. Make sure you see the impact that it's having on the world, and continue to stay grounded with your ears close to what the district your child is in doing. I think that is so crucial, because we send out emails, we send out robocalls. We're trying our best to exhaust all communicative methods to our parents, and some are feeling overwhelmed, but I'd rather you be overwhelmed with information than not have any information. And so once you get all of that, just make some decisions once you internalize it and feel comfortable with your decision. A lot of households have been touched, from victims of COVID, survivors and non-survivors. And so you have to make sure that as a parent that you're doing what's best for you, so that if your child is in the building and if you're at work or at home, are you going to be at peace knowing that your child is in this building and being educated? Or are you going to be comfortable if your child is going to be at home with a relative or whomever? And so I think that grounding that information, embedding it, knowing what's real, and then making some sound decisions so that you can be at peace, because your peace is not for sale.
I was lost for words. I didn't know what to say. That was deep.
So I know we're trying to wrap up, but I have to ask you, have you ever done motivational speaking, or have you ever considered it?
So yes, I have done it when I've had to speak at different engagements, being a keynote speaker here and there. And it's funny because English was my major in college and speech was my minor. And so I've just kind of enjoyed doing what I do. I don't take it for granted. Something can happen to me tomorrow and I won't be able to talk anymore. Thank God. I hope God that won't happen. But I have engaged in some motivational speaking pieces here and there, and I enjoy it. Emily Liddell Love, one of her sorors of her chapter, she's a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. They had me to come and speak about high school students and Title IX issues and or just sexual abuse. And so that was interesting to speak at that event on that level as well. And it was engaging, it was fun. So yeah, I definitely have engaged in all that kind of stuff. I'm available, 313, no, I'm playing.
Hey, listen, don't worry, because every question I ask questions with a purpose. I try to put people down for what what I'm going to need you for in the future. Amen. Because God has blessed my soul, you know, that's a little bit of my poet, my poetic justice coming out. But yes, but God has blessed my soul with listening to the words that have come out of your mouth, young man.
Wow.
Yes, so yes, I definitely see the motivational speaking. I hear you know, the English background. I appreciate it. I love it. I wish my son, and I think I'm going to make that happen one of these days, but I wish my son can hear your views and hear your points, because it's very important to me, you know, as a young Black man, he's 11 years old, that he has all the positive influences that are available, good positive influences. So again, I appreciate you, champion parents, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, for supporting us. Let us continue to unite and share as many resources as possible. Let's continue to push this village and push the support of our people. Don't forget to be good, my people. Uplift somebody today, as I have been uplifted and blessed. And I'm sure Dr. Perk will agree. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you, community champion, Principal Orlando Bogins, for your time. You have given us a lot, and we appreciate you. And again, viewers, thank you. Please continue to visit our website at mommietak.com. So y'all know I used to want to be a rapper when I was little. So anyway, please continue to visit our website, our social media platforms, and we look forward to your feedback. God bless you. Be safe. Vote. Complete your census. And what's the other one? Stay safe. Stay safe.
And I want to leave everybody with something as well too.
I tried to be serious and wait. I'm like, what?